All right, gang sexy. You want a tactical challenge? Here's one for you right here. Another one of these magazine games that I discovered I had. Campaigns in the Valley, Strategy and Tactics number 123. Oh, well, that's 5 after the one I just ranted over. All right, so I wasn't sure what I was going to get with this. All right, not very fancy. Don't see any mountains around here. At least I guess not. Unless these are woods or whatever they are. A couple of old Route 11, which I live amidst. Here, I live right about there. Okay, so like I said, I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but as I started to play, I mean, it's got its own little system, but once I understood the cavalry, I thought, oh, this is an early war great campaigns. Okay? Couple little odds and ends about this one. Again, a command system. You roll a dice to see how many units or stacks of units you're going to be able to activate. All right? Then you roll against the command rating of the vehicle to see how many movement points you're going to get. Sound familiar? Okay? Slightly different, but same eventual outcome, just at a different approach. All right? And then you maneuver the units you got. Okay? So when we play GCAW, cavalry can thwart the movement of forces and they can escape. Now, in this game here, they can't necessarily escape, but they do thwart the movement of approaching enemy, whereas this is a cavalry unit here, which I know he's a detachment, but he is a cavalry unit, where to enter this hex, it's +2 movement points, and to enter 2 hexes away in their frontal facing, it's +1 movement point. Well, Union command ratings of 4, you don't get very many movement points. So, to put it to you this way, the victory objective for this game was for Sigel, so this would have been in early 64, I guess, before Sheridan took over, has to get down here and destroy Staunton. All right? And we start way up here. So the cavalry on the map at the time is just Imboden with 3 strength points, I think. Wait a minute, hold on. 5 strength points. Here's my little chart. 5 strength points, okay? Breckenridge comes on turn 4, but then he has to leave on turn 8. So Breckenridge comes on, then on turn 8 he's got to start moving off. He goes to Staunton, and then he exits the map. Not sure what that was supposed to provide unless you detach out his strength points to delay. So this is now, I'm not quite finished yet. I think I've got 5 more turns to go, but I think it's over because, well, I don't know. We'll see what the cavalry can do. But Breckenridge came on. He didn't really do anything. I think I got him up into Harrisburg, set him here, and then I ended up having to pull him back. But the cavalry, if initially I broke Imboden, who has actually a good command rating of 3, okay, compared to the other ones. But I had him, and then he had 5 strength points, so you can create detachments. It's cost a movement point. So I broke 2 strength points off into 2 separate detachments, and I moved them out into these flank roads, okay? All right, then Breckenridge came on. He was kind of a supporting force in case the Union got close to, I figured Harrisonburg, but the cavalry did such a good job that Breckenridge never, ever got involved. Plus, he didn't have enough strength to deal with with Sigel's force. So eventually I just went ahead and pulled him off, and back he went and off the map. But then once I removed him, I realized, oh, I need some more blocking forces. So then I took Imboden's last 3 strength points and split them off into 2 more detachments to cover as much as I could to keep them away from getting to Staunton. Then it happened. Sigel rolled a really, really low movement point roll, and he got 8 movement points, very rare. And he was able to get in there, and like I said, the cavalry can't run away. So he was able to get into the hex with him, which you move into the hex for combat. And he was carrying 27 strength points. And you roll on a table, a commitment table, to see how much percentage of the strength points you have to commit to the fight. And he ended up with like 18. So, and then you roll on your combat table. Each player rolls using their combat strength and obviously he rolled on it with 18 strength points. He was able to kill the one strength point Imboden had. But Imboden also killed one strength point from him, even though he's eliminated. So now the pike's wide open, going down here to Staunton. And these guys here, I think the Union has four units they can move now. They're going to roll. They're going to move it, and he's on the road, so he's going to just scroll down there or fly down there. But they're going to be able to move to Staunton, and probably the Confederate cavalry with strengths of one, these detachments won't be able to stop it. Combat. So when you're doing your combat, you have 5 chits. If you're attacking, there's 3 of them you use, and if you're defending, there's 3 of them you use, and then there's 5 total, but there's only 3 that you use for either attack or defense, and you will draw one. Now, I had to do it blind, so, I mean, honestly, if I'd have done the attack with Sigel and I'd been picking the chit myself, it would have been just the full out, what they call pitched battle. Instead, he drew probe, which makes the number of combat rounds a lot less. So he picked a probe. The Imboden's cavalry picked a stand, which I probably would have picked a withdrawal with them if I was playing it without blind drawing that. So it made it just 1 round of combat. Well, it didn't matter. 1 round of combat. Sigel was to destroy Imboden, and off the map he went. Now, this game also has accountability for small forces, where it turns into just a skirmish, and you start checking for demoralization on units instead of necessarily casualties. So if you get less than 5 strength points on both sides, it turns into a skirmish instead of an actual battle or fight. So, what year is this thing? It is. See it on there. Hold on, let me flip to my rules, and I'll tell you. Because this is another, we'll call it older, not ancient, but older. It is no date. So, whatever, I don't know, look it up. Yeah, I don't see any date on this thing here. I don't see it on the map. Oh, yeah, here we go. No, there's no year on the map either. I have to dig this one up and see what it is. But it's an older game. I mean, look at the map. Nothing real fancy about that. But it's workable. They have 1862 scenarios, and they have 1864. The 1864 is with Sigel or with Sheridan when he takes over. And 1862 is a lot of the Jackson stuff. Okay, there's 4 or 5. See, it looks like to me like there's 5 scenarios in here. Yeah, 5 scenarios. So I wasn't. This was in 1988. I wasn't expecting a lot out of this when I first laid it out. And I don't know who RBM Graphics and Design Studios, 1988. The cartographer and the graphic designer was Vince DiNardo. It doesn't. Oh, here's the go. So the design and development was Rob Markham and Mark Seaman. Playtesters John Jayhawks, Brian Gussoms, Robert Miller. Larry Hoffman was counters and rules production. Okay. And the cartographer, like I said, was Vince DiNardo. Okay. Simple looking, kind of bland on the map thing. I recognize all of these towns, every one of them. This is where I live. But this scenario, okay, I'll put it this way. If you want to play a lightweight game, and you want, all of us play a ton of stuff. We play a lot of lightweight stuff, play a lot of heavyweight stuff. And every now and then you come across a good scenario that really puts you to work, puts the brain to work. I challenge you to play this scenario and try to stop Sigel from getting down to Staunton with the very, very minimal force that you have available in Imboden's cavalry, and without Breckinridge really having any effect in the game. Because even if you detach infantry units from Breckinridge, they have to withdraw too. And supply does play an important role in this game as to where these depots are, or where these supply wagons are. Plus, at the end of combat, you're rolling to see if these supply wagons get depleted. And if they get depleted, then they got to go all the way back to get within, I think it's like 2 hexes of the depot to get refilled. And your combat units have to have a supply wagon within 2 hexes in order to do any kind of combat, or to get, I guess, to have a more efficient combat. All right. I'm not going to say anything negative about this game. I really couldn't find anything that created a headache for me. All the rules were, I don't know, maybe they didn't They put everything in this one, I guess. So, but the rules are very simple. There's 10 pages of rules, and your scenarios start all at 11. You even have a Lincoln track for this game up in here. For the Lincoln track is in the 1862 scenarios, I think. I'm not sure. And then you have the effects of the Lincoln track. Not sure what it does. I haven't played a scenario for that yet. Simple terrain key. You gotta like that. Everything's in the terrain key. And like I say, there's one thing this game's missing. I couldn't find a turn record track anywhere. So I was just writing it on paper, the turns I was on. So like I said, I'm in the turn 11 now. And combat's a unique system. So I think you can have fun with this. But I'm going to say this again. If you want something challenging and you got this thing laying around, get it out and try the scenarios, the Sigel scenario in the 1864 campaigns. Give it a shot, because I'm going to tell you what, I'm amazed I got to turn all the way to turn 11 and just delayed the Union Infantry all the way down. Well, they call it up the valley. I don't know why. North is that way. I call this down the valley, but it's everybody else but me says this is up the valley going that way. All right. So like I said, get it out if you got it. Play that scenario. It's not hard to learn. I know it's not the most gorgeous game in the world, but this scenario is a serious challenge. And I challenge any of y'all to play this thing. Yeah, I'm not going to give you nothing, but hey, let me know how it turns out if you do play it, or if you have played it, let me know what your outcome was and what you thought of it. And they do have little strength charts for each one. Just make a dupe of it and use you a pencil and eraser to change your strengths and everything as you go. And they have them for all 5 scenarios. All right, so there we go. Campaigns in the Shenandoah. Yeah, I was calling it. Well, it says campaigns in the valley. And that says campaigns in the Shenandoah. So anyhow, it is Strategy and Tactics issue 123 back in 1988. Get it out, play it, have fun with it. It's actually quite an appealing game. All right, talk to y'all soon.